Hello, folks. I'm Anticio Duke, and I want to thank you for stopping by. First of all, I want to say I love this scarf, and I have it on because it's practically freezing in here. So normally I don't wear any things around my neck to take away from the conversations we have. However, today is one of those exceptions. But let's get into it. Today we're going to discuss things, ways, the how-tos to improve yourself as a freelance consultant. And this is complementary to a video that I did previously of how to be an effective freelance consultant. So you can check, I'll leave the link somewhere here, there, somewhere, so you can access that. That way you can reference kind of the beginning segment of this. This is more about improvement. And as I mentioned in that previous video, it has everything to do with adding value, not only to the client and making things easier for them, but also to improve yourself and your efforts as a freelancer. So today we're going to discuss 3 particular tips that will help you do that, and hopefully that'll shed a little bit more light on the ambiguous world of freelance. So tip number 1 as to how to improve your value as a freelancer is to document your process. I know a lot of people online, they do kind of these videos that captures kind of the start and end process of what they executed, which is a great idea. But a lot of people kind of miss out on the steps of capturing the exploration stage and the kind of ways you were thinking about executing on the solution, sort of the design thinking. And when you actually do a documentation of the process flow, you can communicate a lot with that. It can show the client your work approach, like how you actually tackle certain problems and the approaches you take to do that. It can help you kind of filter through all of the ideas that you started from one shape and ended up into this complex sort of icon or logo mark. Now I'm referencing more of a design discipline because that's the field I'm in. However, that straddles all industries. If you're writing, you can show the scribbles on the napkin, what that kind of process was like, to where you converted that into a notebook and kind of filter through those ideas to where you started to type out your manuscript or whatever. But the idea is to document that approach, because that way you can kind of communicate to yourself and to your clients more information. You can filter through those ideas, and you can also learn your strengths and weaknesses by doing so. So, for example, if you are weak in kind of organizing those thoughts, then you'll start to see over time as you jot those down and document that process, you'll say, hey, I normally don't capture the beginning, I capture the middle because that's where those light bulb moments happen. Let me start documenting from the initial onset of the idea and kind of mind mapping through, so that way I can have a stronger execution later on. So that's tip number 1. Make sure you're documenting your process. Tip number 2 on how to improve your value as a freelancer is to offer different design solutions to your clients. Now, I throw design in there again because that's my field, but you can just offer different types of solutions for them. A lot of times when you get projects, some good clients don't actually narrow down the focus as to how you solve that problem, but they want the problem solved. So in a case where there's a design comp that needs to be delivered, instead of just delivering one based on the project brief, you can deliver multiple and then give a synopsis as to what each variation meaning this is version 1 and it captures concept 1 and 2 really well. Whereas I deliver version 3 and this is a different direction that I moved in based on this concept. When you start to provide different problem-solving solutions, you create a much more rich value for your client. They start to understand how you think and why you thought these things. And just having the opportunity to select and make choices from different things says that you thought a lot about the problem and now you're offering different alterations to solve the same problem, because there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. Um, Not really a cat. I don't want to skin cats, but you get the point. You can also offer up adding different brand elements, giving different perspectives or different mock-ups, showing the brand applied in different areas, showing them applied on different devices. These are all things that can allow the client to connect with the application of the brand and logo across different mediums. A lot of times you need to be a visionary to share that and show that, and clients value that a lot more. And if you're not doing from a visual perspective, if you're not the UI designer, maybe you can offer some workflows, some wireframes, things that highlight and bridge the gap of the entire system to help communicate your problem solution better. And tip number 3 to improve your value as a freelancer is something that a lot of people kind of overlook or they shy away from. And I like to say is request from your clients one-on-one time. Now, the reason I say this is because, yes, you're not an employee. However, you do contribute to the organization. So you always should be looking to better yourself and improve, gaining feedback from the client, communicating and collaborating with teams. All of these things help you understand how you'd like to communicate with people, your strengths within that, and where you can improve on your approach just being remote from the entire team. So these are great ways to help you improve and learn those gaps. Excuse me. You also need to, in these one-on-ones, look at it as allowing the client to communicate their concerns. Because if you want to give value to your clients, you want to understand how you can be better for them, right? So if they have concerns or any feedback, maybe the times of day don't work if you've created a schedule or whatnot. Maybe the days or how you deliver assets can be done in a different way. Holistically, tip number 3, which is doing these one-on-ones or gaining feedback, is to understand how you can be better. It's all about self-improvement, and it's all about improvement of your craft. So hopefully that gives you some ideas to kind of work through and help you shed light on any areas. It also kind of nips some of the problematic things in the bud really fast. So if there is a concern about timing, there's a concern about execution, there's a concern about delivery times, you can kind of nip those and resolve those earlier on than waiting and assuming that things are okay. So that's all I have. Those are my top 3 tips on how to improve as a freelancer. One is to document your process. Capture the beginning, middle, and end and tell a story. That way you can learn a bit more about yourself and about how you tackle your problems. 2, offer different problem solutions, because this way it helps you think through the problem holistically and you're able to effectively show the client that you're able to think in a multitude of ways. And lastly, don't skip out on this. Don't fear it, embrace it, but ask or request feedback and or one-on-ones. This highlights any ambiguity that you may have. This may become a transparent time where you can kind of talk through things or concerns that the client may have. But it's just an open dialogue so you guys can kind of meet in the middle and discuss how to improve. Okay, that's my time. Hopefully these tips helped you. If you like, check out the first video, the previous video where I talked on how to be effective in that. That can complement this video. But if you liked it for any reason, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with someone who you might feel needs to hear this information or is freelancing. And leave a comment below. Tell me which tip worked for you and helped you improve yourself as a freelance. Maybe it was documenting your process. Maybe you don't do that now and you should start. Either way, hopefully it helps. We'll see you in the next one.